We made it though. Another year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be. If it's not in there, then it might have been gone.
Who the fuck would?
Okay. I mean, this was a full bowl,
You think
So-
everybody just went for the cheese sauce?
or one person went for the cheese sauce. They might have the cheese sauce in their purse.
Is your theory that one person consumed an entire container of cheese sauce?
I mean, somebody could really like cheese like that.
I guess.
I mean, it can be done.
It can be done.
I won't
have
say
seen
how
it.
I know.
Yeah.
It can be done.
The science has been tested.
Yeah, the science has definitely been tested. I mean, I know of a person who has eaten boxes of cereal out of a dresser drawer. I won't say who they were, but I know they would take one or two full boxes, dump it in, forego the bowl, milk it up, and then eat
Stop. Wait.
it.
You're talking about like pouring milk into a dresser drawer?
Into a dresser drawer so that you didn't have to keep refilling bowls.
Are they in a maximum fucking security prison now?
They are in a maximum physical condition.
Okay.
I mean, you could just get a big old party bowl.
You could if there was one
the
available.
The drawer is completely empty.
But if one isn't, like, you got to think about that. That's like the level of like, oh my God, you're a weed head. You don't have a bowl. You don't have a blunt. You got to get creative.
Yeah, but it gets
That's when people start
soggy.
apples and
It
or
gets
water
soggy.
bottles.
The drawer
or
is gonna get
big
soggy.
pens. It's gonna get nasty. Is what it's gonna get. And then you got to put what drawer do you pick? Underwear drawer, sock drawer,
No drawer.
t-shirt drawer.
You have to burn the entire fucking dresser. Milk? Milk. Old milk.
It's
Milk.
going everywhere. It's not
you-
staying in the drawer.
You know what's
No,
worse than
it's
that
wood,
though?
Wood is porous.
So you might even get some splinters. You know what I mean, right? If it's a wood,
Like
it's
a
a
roach
wood.
turd? Like, come on, man. Fuck out of here.
If it's particle board,
It's milk and it's porous and that's fucking sick. I don't know who you are, but if you listen to our podcast, I hate you.
you know who you are. We know who you are. We're gonna tell Ian after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a fucking monster.
We don't want to embarrass anybody that we
That's
know
like
that,
that's like
that has
sub
done
that's
this thing.
subhuman.
It's nasty, is what the fuck
That's
it is.
like-
It's
that's like-
really fucking.
That's what I'm
nasty.
saying. Like, if I heard that person was in a maximum security prison, it would make a little sense.
Yeah,
I'm like, I hope they're where they belong
they should be.
with their friends that also eat cereal out of a dresser drawer.
Kick it. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast, 2024 edition.
Yes, that's the
We
year.
in this
That's the
bitch.
year.
With your host Nelson.
I'm Ian.
Ed,
Yeah, we did the thing last night. Hung out late.
Yep.
Had some liquor. Had some games. Had some
Right.
fun with friends and family. You know?
Now we're here. Day one.
Yeah.
Still-
Oddly in good shape. I think
Yeah,
we
not
we
too-
did all right.
I feel okay.
not
yeah.
too bad. Yeah. All
yeah.
things considered.
Sat in a sauna today, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. Sweat it out.
Yeah, I figured I'd get it out.
Yeah, no, I did the opposite. I woke up, had some more alcohol.
Oh yeah.
No,
I have Bloody Mary mix at the house. So that's gonna be the move after
Eggs
this.
and bacon in the morning after some good alcohol is a real, like, some greasy food. I think really
Yeah.
does
Yeah,
go a
they've
long
already
way.
proven that. So things like eggs, bacon, oatmeal,
Mm-hmm.
pancakes, basically your typical greasy diner breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
hash browns is what your body is burned off
Once.
and needs
Nice.
after alcohol.
So this is why I think when we get drunk, when we're younger especially, like, we're Waffle House,
Yeah.
IHOP, Denny's,
Keeping
all
them in
those late
business.
night diners.
All the places you see fights at like 1 a.m.
And probably is the most contributing factor to it is that everybody's going there pretty fucked up, looking for some food.
Yep.
Who do you think's like? You think if you work in a place like that, it's got to be on like your resume. It has to be like at least on the job description. Like you got to be able to fight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like if you're getting hired for a third shift waiter or waitress at Denny's,
May
like it
have
must
to
say,
deal with confrontation.
yeah. Like they have to tell you that in the interview. Like you have to at least have like some kind of a martial arts.
I think
background.
at this point
You
it's
should.
kind of
'Cause you're gonna fight.
already
Yeah.
known.
You're gonna get in a fight.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
at least be a fast runner,
Yeah.
right? Good dodger, maybe some dodgeball experience.
Yeah.
Get out of the way from the plates and the bowls and
Bro, if you like between Denny's, IHOP, Waffle House, what are the other ones that are open late? And, like, who do you think probably has the hardest employees?
oh, definitely Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Yeah. Waffle
Yeah.
House. I would say Probably.
That's how I was thinking.
Waffle
I would-
House is known to be right next to the highway exit,
Oh.
where all the stragglers get off. They're
Yeah.
like right there. That's the first spot.
And the truck drivers, right?
yeah.
So it's full with hardened people.
Truckers, I don't see being too much of a problem. Like they're
No.
tired. They were like 10 hours on the road.
But they're
I just
also
want some waffles.
they're also a part of the I don't give a fuck community. Like
Right.
I've been on the road for 10 hours, right? I'm not bothering you. But if you come over here and fuck with me, we're gonna have a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
They're
call them the instigators, but they're definitely a contributor.
they're up there with bikers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Just leave them the fuck alone. They won't bother you. You know what I mean? That's the general outlook that I get from them. But I would have to say, if the Waffle House is one of the best fighters, I would probably go with either IHOP or Denny's for second place.
Well, yeah,
Right?
Those are the big three.
I think Denny's. I think Denny's is open late more often versus
Yeah.
IHOP being open early.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of their employees are missing teeth. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the operating individuals inside of a Denny's,
People that miss teeth, it's usually like NHL players and Denny's.
and Denny's employees, and Denny's employees. Speaking of NHL players, do you guys watch the Canadian show called Shoresy on Hulu? Have you
I
ever
do
seen
not.
this?
Fantastic. I haven't watched this
Don't-
season yet.
Fucking great. It's Canadian humor. It's rapid fire, just witty retort.
It's a spin-off
based
of,
off
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny, yes, and it's a hockey show, but kind of like the reverse Mighty Ducks. They're all adults. They're all assholes. They're fighting and fucking the whole show and just talking shit.
Are they any good at hockey?
It's decent hockey, you
They're-
can see, but
they're-
it's really
yeah,
not about
they're-
the actual gameplay. It's about the characters in the
Yeah,
show.
they're like one level above beer league amateurs. It's like used to be a professional, now retired.
Right.
You know, hometown hero kind of
Right.
characters.
There should be some kind of a show about Waffle House or like a late night diner.
That would be dope.
That could
That
probably
would
be
good.
done.
They
It
did
hasn't been done yet.
no, and they did one about Walmart, except they call it the Superstore.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
I've heard of it.
It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch
There's
it.
so many hospital shows. They might as well do like a late night. Cause, I mean, where's a lot of your footage coming nowadays? There's always a reel from some late
This
night
is true. This
Yeah.
is true.
diner.
But you
some
know what?
guy getting
Every
juiced up.
hospital show turns into love stories,
It does. It does.
right? Like,
I think
maybe
I don't
with the
like
exception
them
of
because I
House.
work in a hospital. So it's like
Yes.
I see shit. I'm like that would never.
Yeah.
Like that would no. In what
But-
world?
There is a part of working so closely to life and death that people kind of tend to lean on.
It's also we ran
Some of
out
the
of
craziness.
stories to tell. Let's put the characters together now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
That's true.
speed at which they put them together dictates how poorly their creative ideas are coming out.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that somebody posted some shit where they said like I think they asked a question along those lines like who would win like IHOP, Denny's, or Waffle House.
Right.
And I think the number one comment was some dude said that like a healthy Waffle House staff could go toe to toe with the Avengers. And I was like, so the fact that we unanimously think Waffle House, that's about
Yeah.
right. Like,
They can at
Yeah.
least take on Hawkeye.
who was the one? Was it Waffle House where that fucking dude threw the stool and
Yeah.
the girl behind the counter caught
Yeah,
it?
I
Yeah.
believe that's
That was Waffle House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power,
No
in the
flinching.
power in your wrist and forearm to be able to catch a flying bar stool out of the air and not drop it, not have it hit you.
Bro, you flipping burgers, you flipping pancakes all day,
Dude,
bro.
she's
like,
strong, bro.
you're
That girl
in
was
there.
strong.
Your
Like,
wrist
she
control.
caught that stool out of the air. Like no, the fight's over. If I throw a stool at you and you catch it, I'm not fighting.
It's
Like,
like,
all
yeah,
right,
you
I'm done.
You won.
I'll
You
pay my
won.
tab and
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
you at least have some power, and you at least have some instincts and reaction time. I don't want none of that smoke.
That's
I don't want
fucking
none of that.
hilarious,
you know?
man. No, I still haven't gone to the movies yet. Probably gonna go next week. Haven't made the time to. I want to see Godzilla.
Yeah, that's the
Everyone
one to see.
is saying
That's
it's
the one
still
to
the
see.
best movie out there. Aquaman tanked.
we knew it.
in
It's
the box office.
Did that
It's-
shock anyone?
No,
It's the
no,
last
no, no.
of the old chunk of films they were putting out. Nobody wants to go just out of protest of Amber Heard
I
and everything.
heard they cut her time down as much as
And
possible.
They did.
Everything
They did.
else
less than 15 minutes of screen
that's
time.
going on with the universe in tandem with that. It's like, listen, people love Jason Momoa, but they're like, this is the end of this storyline as well as the end of this whole universe. Plus, this asshole is still in it, despite everything else that's happening to other people.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not even gonna fucking go. We're done.
I heard from a couple movie critics that watched it because I follow a couple different pages that they, depending on which way they lean, they still claim to be independent film reviewers.
Yeah.
And the general consensus was it's actually not the worst superhero movie that's been released. It's just not good.
Yeah.
And it's about par for the course what you would expect. So it's like it's probably good that this movie just is what it is.
Yeah.
And that generation of the DC in a failing company just fades out.
I think they got lazy, lazy writing, lazy on the CGI, just lazy in general.
When's the last time, like, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 aside, when's the last time you were blown away by in fact, even Guardians of the Galaxy 3, when's the last time you were blown away by a superhero movie?
I mean, look, I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I will say this, and I stand by it. I really liked Wakanda Forever. That was the last time I would say that I was blown away by, like, I loved Namor as a hero, anti-villain, like he was for his people. Wakanda Forever did it for me. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was right up there, but outside of that,
For me, it was Spider-Man.
I haven't really
Spider-Man was good.
I haven't
was
really
Spidey.
been in love. I go watch because I am a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for the resurgence.
Yeah.
And maybe 2024, like they go back to like, okay, slow it down, better writing. But we'll see.
Ant-Man,
Well, they have to-
Ant-Man was the nail in the coffin for me. I
They
haven't
have
seen
to
one in
stop
theaters.
forcing. So part of their process is they film certain things ahead of time or come up with certain plot points ahead of time, and then you're forced to squeeze it into your movie.
Yeah.
This action scene, this
Yeah.
plot point, etc. So then the person writing the movie sometimes has to rewrite, try to squeeze something that doesn't quite fit right, but you got to somehow make it make sense.
Yeah.
You got to let the people writing just write the movie individually,
Yeah.
each chunk of the way, and stop trying to write everybody's stories and then hope that they can still write a good movie around these weird
Yeah.
beats
Yeah.
that you want to be in. So
Also,
like,
it's
stop trying to push your message.
Yeah. Yes.
That
I think,
backfired on Disney this
I think
year.
it's a
Yeah.
call to independent movie releases. Let Iron Man do Iron Man shit. Let Captain America do Captain America shit. And if they happen to team up in the future, then you make that story relevant in that movie. Because then the whole group doesn't take the blame, right? It's like, oh, this was a bad Ant-Man movie? Well, I won't go watch Ant-Man anymore because Captain America is still kicking ass over here, and I like his movies over here. But once you start chaining every event together, it becomes homework.
Yeah.
It becomes homework for a lot of people who are like, hey, if I'm just a casual fan, a casual viewer, and I know going into this movie, I didn't do 8 hours of homework before coming to watch this movie, that I don't know what's going on somewhat, it's a problem.
I figured that with the way DC was going, even though I heard that, what's his name, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, James Gunn.
James Gunn.
was taking over. I like Peacemaker and stuff. I figured that DC was going to fizzle out. I did.
Yeah.
They kept missing the mark.
I knew
Black-
it. I knew it.
Black-
You knew until not until the Superman movie comes out.
Yeah.
Everything from when James Gunn came in until Superman is dead in the water.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just contracts that they're fulfilling.
Well, they constantly told you that, like, this is going to turn it around.
Right.
So Black Adam came out. Everybody's like, oh, this is it. The Rock we put all these resources into it.
Yep.
And Henry Cavill's on board.
Yep.
This is going to be the one to turn the ship around.
It wasn't. It
Flash. Oh, we're bringing back Michael Keaton.
Yep.
This is going to be the one. Didn't do it.
I think Flash was the last one they put a lot into because Black Adam was The Rock's company and he was pushing hard
I enjoyed Flash more.
because supposedly
As Ezra Miller.
yeah, supposedly
included.
Aside.
behind the scenes he was trying to almost take over
Yeah.
some
The
of
Rock?
that.
Yeah.
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 But it didn't
I got that vibe.
it didn't do enough where he had where it swayed anything much. And then they were really pushing for Flash to do something. After that, they fucking gave up. They're like, look, we know it's done. Bring somebody in new.
Yeah.
Start it over. We can't.
But what's crazy is, as far as grossing movies are concerned, Black Adam, as poorly as it was viewed, right?
It still made money.
It was still one of, not only did it make money, but one of his highest grossing movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So The Rock really went in there, subpar movie and all, and did The Rock's thing. Like, he's like, I'm guaranteeing you X amount of viewership, X amount of money because I have a following.
The problem is,
But they could have.
It's because he's in everything.
It really is,
Yeah.
but they could have.
It's at the point where we see an AI generated trailer and we're like, that might be right. He's in fucking
the
everything.
thing
You're
is,
right.
even as the highest grossing, here's part of the math they do. what did it cost to make it?
Correct.
What did it cost to market it?
Correct.
And then they want to see that budget X amount over it before they consider, because there's movies that make money, but they still consider them a failure because they're like, no. It doesn't matter that you made, 200 million when you cost it 100. We need you to make 500.
Yeah.
So you're still a fucking failure despite doubling the money we gave you.
Yeah.
But all this
So
included.
some of that is odd because you look at the
metrics.
Blade series, which broke even
Yep.
and is heralded as this financial success
Right.
that started superhero movies, but it's like, no, they kind of like broke even. They didn't really make a lot of money,
But also
they
a
were
different
expecting
time.
they were expecting to make fuck all,
Right.
and making anything was good. Now
Marvel was a
making
comic book
anything
company when
isn't
that movie
good.
was made,
Right.
so-
You got to make $1 billion off of the 200 they give you,
Right.
or
Or
you're
they
shit.
consider it a flop.
I know. Well, like this being said, I expected, like I said, DC to fail. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised when DC went dead in the water, and now it's 2024, and I don't give a shit if I ever watch another DC movie.
Right.
But I did not expect that going into 2024, I would not give a shit about Marvel. That is
Right.
a shock to me.
Right,
But
right.
based on like what's been coming out, I
Yeah.
really don't care. Like
Yeah.
I don't care. Like
It's gonna take something big to bring people back to the seats. Like
Planet
it's gonna
Hulk.
take a Robert Downey Jr.
You
It's
need
gonna
to
take
sell to your audience. There was a gentleman recently,
World
and he got
Breaker
a
Hulk might get
he
me
got
back in
a
it.
ton of heat. He's like a 30-year veteran in the comics, owning a shop and everything. And he said, "You can't keep telling stories of what you would do if you were Captain America. I want to see what Steve Rogers would do. I want to see what Iron Man would do, not what you would do. If you want to tell your story." Make you as a character or make your own character and make a different book.
Yeah.
Don't take over or been given somebody who you're supposed to uphold the character of and tell stories of that character
Yeah.
and tell your story and force your message in it.
Yeah.
That's why the industry is dying.
But hear me out. Here's what I would go see. If you're gonna bring the
Gay
X-Men back, Gay Thor for sure. If you're gonna bring the X-Men back, there's one story that they have been avoiding that could be fantastic. It's the Savage Lands.
Yeah.
You bring in Mr. Sinister, you go, Xavier trapped in the jungle. You got the original X-Men, the Gambit, the Wolverine.
Mr. Sinister scared me.
Mr. Sinister is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
But you could go Savage Lands and bring that X-Men story, or you could go.
I mean, they tried Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen. That
You know what?
tried.
The thing is,
It just fell a little short.
the
short.
X-Men are so isolated right now.
Yeah.
There's barely anyone that falls under the line of mutants, even in the Marvel universe. So short of them doing War World or something of that nature where they merge universes to bring them back into where they're supposed to be. Right now, I mean, we've had a teaser of Beast.
Yeah.
We have a Inhuman who, for the movies, they've turned into a mutant.
Uh-huh.
And then we have everything that happened on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that they wrote off into an alternate timeline to end the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, all of those Inhumans over there don't fucking exist.
X-Men are like Fantastic
So-
Four. We don't even know what's going on.
Exactly.
There's been
It's
so many
true.
versions
It's
of
true.
it. So
It's
many.
true.
It's like who's who.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they got to do a world merging event because otherwise there's no reason to explain
gonna
why
be Deadpool
Thanos is fighting and destroying half the universe and they're all fucking missing.
Or
Yeah.
you know what? Like, do the reboot. Leave X-Men alone. Leave X-Men in their own universe. Reboot. Bring the Avengers. Make a whole new team. Or go completely new people. Young Avengers. Start it over the right way.
They're doing Young Avengers.
Right, but not in the right way. I haven't seen one male Young Avenger, and that's the other thing. Like,
No, they had the chance to do Iron
you
Lad.
need a lot.
They didn't
more.
bring that in.
Yeah.
The two boys that are Wanda's kids technically don't exist in our universe.
Yeah.
So you
Which
have
was weird. Which was really weird.
so you have
Yeah.
Riri taking over as Ironheart.
Yeah.
You have Stature taking over for Ant-Man.
Right.
You have the girl that's taking over for Hawkeye. You have She-Hulk,
And Miss Marvel.
and you have Miss Marvel.
So this is what I'm saying. Like,
That's
you need
pretty
to,
weak cast.
You need
have
to
charac-
backseat
the-
the heroine apocalypse.
The thing is, you
and
have
bring back the heroes.
you have characters that are interesting, but
right,
they were
like-
never.
Wasn't Marvel, not to cut you off, but wasn't Marvel more successful when you had more male leads?
Yeah.
in the front role because let's be honest, a huge part of the audience that is going is male. And then also when you have like people like Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. at the lead, the women are going with their boyfriends just to sit down and watch them.
But it's not just that. It's part of it is also
No, I ain't going.
you're not telling like
I ain't
you're
going.
not telling
yeah.
the A tier character stories. Like these are characters that are within a group that couldn't hold their own audience for their own book. If they couldn't hold an audience for their own book, how are they going to hold up the franchise with their own movie?
They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. You're setting up the whole franchise on very.
I mean,
unsteady
probably the
pillars.
most popular female character is X-23, Wolverine's daughter, and I'm not sure if her individual book is even going. At one point, she had her own.
How's she gonna fight a Celestial?
They merged
She's
it
not.
into Wolverine, where she took over the mantle when he was dead and gone. And then, as that was kind of wavering, they brought back Old Man Logan to bring Wolverine back into the universe.
Right.
Yeah.
But she, even as probably one of the most, liked female characters, I don't think she held up her own book for. I'm not sure if it's even still going at this point.
The sad reality of it is most people that read comic books are men.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the female readers out there. Nothing against
Yeah.
the female nerds. They are
Yeah.
one of us. They're just
Yeah.
as equal. I'm just saying. Majority of them are men. It's the same reason. While if you look at
They
sports,
didn't market Twilight to a men's audience.
look
No.
at sports. Look
Right.
at sports.
Yeah.
Right.
NBA does how many numbers?
Right.
WNBA. That's why none of the players caught COVID because
Right.
there was fucking 5 people. Was there. That's just the way it is.
They were
I'm
pretty
not trying to be a
healthy.
dick.
They were
I'm
pretty
not trying to be
healthy.
a dick. I'm just saying that's just the way it is.
It's true. It's true.
And companies need to take note of that. Like, it's
They
really
do.
hard. Like, you're not going to get me excited for Miss Marvel versus some intergalactic being that I don't fucking know about.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently I didn't see the Marvels, but they said the villain in the story was the most forgettable villain in the entire franchise.
She absolutely was.
Exactly.
It was just
They're running
if
out of
you took
ideas.
Ronan,
Yeah.
the Destroyer, and just said, you know what, we're gonna copy paste and just make it a woman, dry acting, throw her in there, and she was pretty weak.
Yep.
The whole character was
X-23
pretty trash.
still going from 2018.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. No. So I mean,
I've been
another.
disappointed lately in general. Did we
But-
talk about Rebel Moon at all?
I was just about to go there.
I was gonna say,
with
man,
this
fuck.
man still
God.
has jobs, Mr.
Yeah.
Schneider cut.
Uh,
Because
Bro.
he's already yelling for
Bro.
the Schneider cut.
Bro, you
for
made-
Rebel Moon that just came out.
How the fuck can you say that? How
It's
can you
fucking absurd.
you gotta-
300. 300 was a great movie, Zack Snyder. Thank you for it. It was groundbreaking. It was a great.
That was him?
Yeah, it was a great portrayal of Frank Miller's graphic novel.
Yeah,
thank
that-
you.
that was his
And
best movie by
maybe
far.
it was the first time we saw him do the slow motion all the
Yeah.
time. And we
Yeah.
were like, oh, this is cool. Kicking shields, fighting.
It was
slow mo-
fucking amazing.
Now in Rebel Moon, it was like slow motion when they were hugging at a graduation and
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, why do we need a slow mo for this?
You know what?
They're hugging at a graduation. Like,
Now that I'm thinking about what you're saying, like
was
there was a couple of times
overused.
I was like, all right, do we really need to go into slow motion for every fight scene?
we watched a movie about a team being assembled, about characters we didn't give a shit about on planets we had no history of.
Yeah.
And then the background of the movie was James Gunn. Zack Snyder brought a thing to Disney, and he said, "I have an idea for an R-rated Star Wars movie."
Yep.
Disney said, "No, thank you. We can't.
Yep.
We don't want to market an R-rated Star Wars." Netflix said, "We'll fucking do it."
Right.
Because you have all this buzz after the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie.
Yep.
They gave him the funding, and he fucking shit the bed.
shit the bed.
He shit it and rolled in it. He
Yeah.
Amber Hearded it.
I really.
I know it came out, but I
I
haven't.
really didn't like it at all.
I haven't heard
hated
too
it.
many people talk about it.
I hated
Yeah.
it.
It
dude.
felt
I hated
every
it.
every
I wanted
scene,
to love it too.
Every scene felt forced. Every character felt like they've been done,
It started so good.
and it did.
It started good.
it
I was
had
like,
a
this
good-
movie's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You think he's better telling other people's stories than his own?
I think he's a great director. I don't think he is a good screenwriter.
Yeah.
I think he comes up short.
Or a
He-
good judge of what would carry over as really good.
I want to
on
give.
screen.
I want to give him the credit where credit is due. He did a very good job on 300,
Yes.
but that was someone else's story.
Yep.
He did a very good job on taking what the Justice League was and making it into something better.
Yeah.
He saved a shitty movie.
Yeah.
But when he comes up with his own ideas, like I believe he did Sucker Punch, and he wrote the whole thing. And that movie was a pile of shit.
I'd never seen it.
It was
either.
convoluted, and you didn't care.
Yeah.
It was poor development. And this was the the epitome of poor development.
Even-
I didn't care about any character.
Even George Lucas,
Even the plot twist was
even
shit.
George
was
Lucas
stupid.
knew he needed other people to direct what he written.
right. There you go.
And it makes sense. But that's somebody with the
Sometimes
wherewithal.
you know your limitations.
Yes. No, but Zack Snyder is already leaning in on like, oh, you need the Snyder cut, and it's 9 hours long. You should watch this hunk of piece of shit in the 8-9 hour version. And what's fucked up is the actors and the actresses were it was a really good cast.
They tried.
It was a good
They
cast.
tried.
The villain, I liked the villain the best.
Space Nazis.
Yeah, Space Nazis.
It was great.
I think he was the best part of that shit show.
I mean, who doesn't like space Nazis?
No one.
No.
They're
I
okay.
mean, he played the asshole, the dick, right? Like, I'm like, okay,
He had
he's
that
a
weird.
good-
He had that weird tentacle thing in his.
yeah,
There was some.
he was a good villain. He
I
was a good
liked.
villain.
I liked some things about it, but he just missed the mark. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to care about the team they were building, and they just literally was. It was a recycled idea. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, we met this person. Okay, now we're going to this planet. I know of this person. Okay, now we're going to the same thing. Meet
Yeah.
person, hire him. Meet person, hire. Rinse and repeat for an hour and a half.
So
Yeah.
I
it was
this sucks.
storytelling 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's fucking sucked.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like an old JRPG that sucked. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't want to play this.
It was like some kid's like college project for
Yeah.
turning it in.
If
and,
you'd have told me that Zack Snyder's kid wrote the movie, I'd believe it. His 11-year-old kid. I'd be like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Maybe 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. It was
it
bad.
was zero redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Like I sat down
I
and I
preached
watched
about
it.
it on this show.
Yeah.
I was excited for it. That
Yeah.
trailer, I was like, wow, I can't wait for
It
this big
looks-
sci-fi epic.
It looked
It
good.
looks
It looked really
exciting.
good.
It does.
did.
They're
It
talking
did.
about part 2. Don't give a fuck
Yeah.
when they're releasing
I know.
it.
Yeah.
I know it
Won't
came
watch
out, and I
Yeah.
didn't see any reviews popping up or nothing else going on. So I didn't stop putting down the game I was playing. I'm like, I'm close to the end. I'm gonna keep playing
When
this.
I
until...
saw the early reviews, I went, "Oh shit!" Like, if you're giving this like a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, what the
Ooh, boy.
fuck?
Yeah, what did you
And
do?
I was like, I'm still gonna watch it. Like maybe the critics are wrong.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
critics weren't wrong.
Yeah.
They hit the nail on the head with this. This sucked.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes
Yeah,
they do.
that's rough.
I will tell you what
It
have,
bums me out.
What I have been enjoying, and it's an older cartoon, came out. Me and Ian were talking about it because it's coming back out in January 14, 15. Demon Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Demon Slayer.
It's one of the best.
really
it's one of the best
fucking
animes out right now.
Good,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
Like some of the fight scenes are like Dragon Ball Z, like 4 episodes long, but
Well, the animation's beautiful.
done well.
The animation's beautiful.
Yeah,
You can't
yes.
get any better
Yeah,
animation
the
than Demon
more
Slayer has.
recent shows, the level up in animation really shows. The studios have really gotten it down. There's a mix of computer generation and written,
Yeah.
drawn out cells and
Yeah.
things like that they merge together to make the shows the way they
Yeah.
are now, and it allows them to do something they couldn't quite do before.
And
Yeah,
the
the-
storytelling
Oh yeah.
in Demon Slayer, it has that very usual, familiar Japan
It's a
animated
shonen. It's a
feel,
shonen anime,
but
so
a very unique twist
Listen,
to it as well.
manga is starting to dominate in the West over traditional American comics. So the art form that we started is dying out because people are trying to force their message versus tell their story properly. And Japan is like, stories coming first.
look at Blue Eyed Samurai. It's
Yeah.
a Western animation product that's completely influenced by Eastern Japanese
100%
animation,
and it was
influenced.
amazing.
and it's right up there with Arcane as some of the
Yeah.
best animation you will see on Netflix.
but you
by
know
far.
what? You know
Like,
what was shit? Pluto.
you didn't like Pluto?
Pluto fucking sucked. Pluto fucking sucked.
Pluto
balls.
I had high hopes for.
But it sucked.
It was
balls.
dry. It was dry.
It was long,
Boring.
dried. It dragged out forever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could have told that story.
The first
in 3
episode I
episodes.
liked though.
Yeah.
Right up until that guy, that piano playing robot and stuff, it showed potential, and then I was like, this kind of.
Yeah, it blows.
It just
It
like when
blows.
I'm falling asleep trying to watch it, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, that's never good.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish it. I'm like on like the last 2 episodes, but every
You don't
time
have
I go to turn
No,
it on, I'm
hey,
just like,
hey, you don't have to.
Is that the Golden Girls?
No.
Oh, let me watch that from start
Listen,
to
they Netflix did their best to try to. They put a lot of money into it. It was
Yeah.
a really big Japanese project to try to tell a story from an Astro Boy comic.
Right.
And the Pluto arc in the Astro Boy comic is a really big one.
Yeah.
He's like one of the most powerful people that Astro Boy fights. But this was so all over the place and
Yeah.
telling the story from different directions that
Yeah.
it,
It felt like the main character, Astro Boy,
whose name is Adam in this.
is like a he's not even a major player
No.
in the show
Huh.
at
It follows
all.
Gesick,
Yeah.
the inspector.
The inspector who's like,
Somehow involved in a murder plot. It's not good.
yeah, it's just not good.
not
It,
good,
it wasn't it wasn't done well.
I had
at
very
all.
high hopes for that, and it's still the best animation. If you don't see the best animation on Netflix right now, watch Blue Eyed Samurai.
Yeah,
Plain and
Blue Eyed
simple.
Samurai. I definitely
Strong
can
female
condone
lead.
that.
That's how you do it.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
And nothing felt forced. Like even when she's like murdering motherfuckers, she's still like
She's
dragging
still-
her leg
Bro,
across the field.
she
like,
still takes a
so
beating.
good.
She's human.
yes.
That's how you do it. You
Yes.
don't need an invincible fucking female
Yeah.
heroine with no personality that just dominates everyone.
And that's what I like
don't
about
give a
like
shit
like
about that.
the Mulan remake where she had special powers all along.
Or Captain Marvel.
So it's
Or
no
Captain
longer,
Marvel, where
it's
she's
no
just a-
longer a story about perseverance and grit and overcoming through determination.
No,
no,
forward with it.
you're special.
You're
Yeah.
special from birth.
yeah.
All of you.
Should have stayed there.
Yeah. You're special, all right. They have classes for that.
But that's what I like about Demon Slayer. Like the characters get fucked up.
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that, they need rehab. They need to get healed. They need to come back stronger. Their
Yep.
enemies get stronger. Their shit needs to get stronger, or they're gonna get fucked up
But
and
that's
tossed
a
out.
that's a standard that's a very Japanese approach to storytelling as well. Though it's like, no, hard work, determination. You lost, you got to go back to the drawing board. You just got to work harder.
Yeah.
You need to find what you did wrong, or you're stupid, overpowered, and you're just fucking everybody up.
One
Yeah.
Punch Man.
Sometimes it's One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And, you're like-
Saitama's
and
dumb.
it's the story from the opposite. It's like, stop! I'm trying to not hurt you.
Yeah, but there's-
if
there's-
you keep pushing buttons,
But
You're gonna hurt.
there's a place for both, right? The overpowered and the underdog story,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? You know, speaking of overpowered, have you guys seen Reacher season 2 at all?
I have not.
It's still good, but it kind of lost some of its luster.
Yeah. I think
and-
a majority of women that watch that show are watching it for one reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because generally that's the opinions of Reacher I hear.
Yeah.
Which is why I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's-
you guys are watching this for the wrong reason.
season
Same reason
one-
I watched Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Season 1 was really, really good, but it focused on Reacher. This season, they bring in like a team, and without spoiling anything, you know, there's a larger focus. Like, he's still the main character, but there's a larger focus on
they're
like
trying to bring more stuff
bringing
in.
back the team, and for like one last case, and it's just not as good. And I think some of it has to do with underwhelming performances of the side cast. So like I like to see like this the season opens up and this is on the trailer. You know, he's behind a lady at an ATM and she looks beat up and smacked down and she's shaking. He's like, "Ma'am, is everything okay?" She's like, "My son's in the car." He's like, "Okay, is it a carjacker?" "Yes." "Does he have a gun?" "I'll be right back." He just like walks over to the car. He's wrapping his hand, breaks the glass, beats the shit out of the guy, breaks his arm, throws him out. He's like, "Come on, kid, let me take you to your mom," right? Kid's crying. He's like, "Call the cops. Guns in the car," and he just walks off. I'm like, yes, that's what I want to see. I don't want a detective drama. I don't want none of the fucking love story that they're throwing in there. I don't want to find the team. I just want to see Jack Reacher reach into the fucking window, break somebody's fucking arm, and walk off. That's all I want. That's all I want.
I want
Is that too much?
old school Texas Ranger. Someone
Yeah.
gets a roundhouse to the face, case is solved, go home.
That's
Yes.
right. That's how we do it in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, there was another great scene where, like, he's in the gun shop and he's like, "I'll take this. The guy's like, "You know, there's a 30-day waiting period." He's like, he just reaches in his pocket. He's like, "Not for friends, though." he walks off with fucking 4 guns and he fucking shoots people, throws them into fucking cement. I'm like, that's the shit I'm here for. I don't need any of the love story. I don't need any of the other backstory shit.
But that's one where they have probably like a dozen or so books to pull good chunks of stories out of to tell the show.
Yeah. It's just mindless fun, mindless action fun. You know what I mean? I'm into like the Expendables for that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a stupid watch.
I heard the latest one was real
fun. It was. I didn't
I
see
heard it was
that.
real bad.
I didn't see the last one. I
That's
didn't
what
see the
people
last
said.
one.
One person said it was, in fact, one of the critics I follow, he had it the worst movie of 2023. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's saying something.
There was
I mean,
a couple Rotten
mean-
Tomatoes. They got 0.
I mean,
There was some
a
bad
good
movies.
a good
Tomatoes.
Expendables movie is 10 minutes of story and 120 minutes of badass action scenes.
Yes.
That's really what it is. It's 5 minutes of like, we need to get the crew, a whole bunch of fucking people up, and then 5 minutes of like, and we're solved.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking it up right now. 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. What's the list that got 0 on Rotten Tomatoes? 2023. Black Noise, never heard of you.
Nope.
Confidential Informant, never heard of you.
Nope.
Dead Man's Hand, never
Nope.
heard of you. The Donner Party, never heard of you. Freelance.
Well, I tell you, what, Donna Party definitely gets a 0 out of me. That's
Yeah.
God
that's
damn.
a hard pass.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find anything that we actually know on this list, because there's probably a reason they all got zeros. They fucking suck.
Yeah, or they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money to slide under the table to get
Wait a
that
second.
to get that high praise for award
The
season.
Titanic 2? How the fuck did the second Titanic
That's
come out?
gotta be a joke.
It has to
Well,
be.
there was 2 Titanic ships, I believe.
Jurassic Shark.
What?
There's gotta be.
Isn't
fucking,
that just the Meg?
Yeah.
They've done that movie. Jason Statham is in it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, he is. The Meg
Hellraiser.
2. The Meg 2. What?
Hellraiser. Yep.
The
got
remake?
Hellraiser Revelations. Is that the one?
Oh no, that's. I don't know.
Actually,
I never saw that one.
Mean Girls 2. I'm done. I can't look at this shit.
0%.
there is a continual flow of new media that gets put out, and it is amazing when you have to stop and go, somebody still approved at the end. They watched this, they saw what they made, and they still allowed it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to Batwoman? Because there is some awful shit that's look at some of the DC stuff that got put out. How bad was that movie?
That they had to just
That
delete it from existence.
I
after
mean,
making
you
it.
They
put-
burned
put-
all copies.
You put Aquaman 2 out with arguably the most unpopular actress in the
Yep.
whole world.
Yep.
You still put it out.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
cut her time down, but you put that out.
I think Kang with charges is more popular than Amber Heard shit in the bed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Jonathan Majors is, even right now, right after all this went down, he's still more
I
popular.
think
than
everyone
her.
that
It's
saw the
crazy.
footage of him running away went,
You shit in Jack Sparrow's bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a fucking
Yeah,
monster.
you're a piece of shit.
Johnny Depp is beloved.
And
Ugh.
it doesn't hurt that when that trial was going on, that Johnny Depp is probably one of the most charismatic people on the planet. Like, he had the
Bro.
judge, the jury, everybody eating out of the palm of his hands.
When he said busting a grumpy, I was like, what? She busted a grumpy in my bed. I was like, no fucking shit.
Yeah, come
You
on.
say that.
You can't fuck with that, man.
far
Yeah.
more naturally funny than I think he was ever given credit for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got so much charisma. I mean, look at him. He's a guy in what, his 50s or something like that. Is he 50s or 60s?
Yeah.
He's up there.
But do you see
And
the
he's got bracelets and shit on.
He's got like things hanging from his fucking hair.
I'm like, he's a gypsy.
Do
Look at
you
this guy.
see
He
what
is.
the
Look at this guy.
stress did to him over like that 2-year
Yeah.
period? He went from like one of the people on like the list of he might be a vampire to like, oh,
He's human.
he just lived a fairly stress-free life.
Yeah.
Until
And
Amber
then
Heard.
this shit literally happened.
Until Amber Heard.
And what it
Yeah.
So dating Amber Heard is like 2 terms in the presidency.
yeah. Oh yeah, at least.
At least 1.5.
She hit him with all 40 years that he didn't age from a kid,
Fuck.
all at the same time.
Jesus.
I will say this though. I will say this on a more pleasant note. There is still one Marvel property that I think is gonna knock it out of the park in 2024.
It starts with a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool. I think that is probably the only one I'm looking forward to right now.
I'm
That's the
looking
only project that I could say without a doubt, opening day in the theaters watching that bitch.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because Ryan Reynolds cannot fail.
Yes, and
cannot
now you
fail.
throw Hugh Jackman in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have been dying for them to get together and
Yeah.
do this.
And now it's happening. It's
Yeah.
official. So it's like, all right, I'm in.
I'm in too, man. Yo, so
I'm 100% in. And Ryan Reynolds is fucking fantastic.
he is.
I don't envision that ever failing.
No.
As long as you make it rated R and you give him the ability to
no,
be Deadpool.
the first 2 did well enough that people are going to show up for the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that he's trusted enough in the source material
Yeah.
and the portrayal of the character as is Hugh Jackman.
I don't think of that. When I think of Deadpool, I think of Ryan Reynolds now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's associated himself with that role as much as like Hemsworth did with Thor,
Yeah.
or Downey did with Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's in the role now for me.
yeah. That's like
So-
when you think of Lightning McQueen, you think of Val Kilmer, right? You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm not sure there.
No.
There's
You
a
don't see the
connection.
correlation?
I don't.
No, that doesn't quite add up. No.
One more for the year, just to start the year off fresh with a little.
I was gonna say you
little
started
taste.
the year with that. Lightning McQueen.
Val
Val
Kilmer.
Kilmer. Oh my
Right?
God.
Right? You see it now, though. You see it now.
No, I fucking don't. I wonder what Val's up to right now.
But if we go forward,
Not much.
right now, you're saying Iron Man is out right now. We have Captain America, but they haven't done fuck all with him other than the show briefly.
No.
Like, what
They
is
tabled him.
what is a big character they can bring in to kind of be the mentor of the young Avengers to balance things out?
Stephen
Who can they
Strange.
use to pull people forward? I like Benedict as Stephen
I do.
Strange. I
I do.
enjoy his stuff.
I just get a competent fucking
But
director
the
that's
thing
not
is,
going to
he's
make a
still-
half-assed horror film.
He's still not like the
Yeah,
lead in Avengers. He's kind of the lead in his own
He
thing
could
more
be.
than
He could be if they, Tom Holland. Tom Holland's starting to transition from the role of like, okay, he's a young idiot Spider-Man to being like an actual member of the
yeah.
team now.
But see, but they're
And
getting
people would
ready.
get behind Tom Holland.
They're
I would
getting
too.
ready to ruin the fucking Spider-Man. They're planning a live-action Spider-Man noir. You got this whole Madam Web series, which is like every other Spider-Man but fucking Spider-Man,
Right.
which is just silly. So I mean,
it's Sony trying to.
they can either it might be fantastic. Hopefully, it is. But if not,
Just like
I mean,
Craven will be fantastic.
they may screw over one of the few Marvel kind of things that's doing well, which is the Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Superhero movies are they're fizzling out, man. They're fizzling out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably why a Godzilla movie did as well as it did.
I mean, the Spider-Verse is kind of in
Just want
its,
something different.
in its own little chunk of the universe, and it kind of sits alone. But I'm pretty sure all of these other little projects they're doing are within the Tom Holland Spider-Man universe. So if they start fucking that up, they
Yeah.
potentially ruin his ability to continue playing Spider-Man as well.
Well, you know what I'm thinking of is that maybe like in a different vein, like superhero movies were kind of elevated to a new light once they started getting into the Avengers, and now it's fizzling out.
Yeah, we peaked at Endgame.
But video games still have a lot that they could draw from that if done right, like the Gears of War,
Yeah.
what they were talking about doing with like Dave Bautista being brought in,
Yep.
who is a great actor in his own right.
Yeah.
You could lean into like some rated R, some dark shit.
Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, man, and get in there, Bill Goldberg. Fuck that guy.
I would
What a
s-
shitty actor.
I would say when you're talking about doing video game adaptations, a single movie doesn't quite tell the story enough. You need it to be like an 8-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
Because the amount of storytelling you do within a video game doesn't condense down to an hour and a half
Yeah.
properly. And I think
No.
that's what been a lot of the issues is you're trying to tell a story from a video game, which is easily on average 25 hours to 125 hours, and tell it in an hour and a half. It doesn't work.
So maybe-
Last of Us worked because they
That's what I was gonna
they
say.
squeezed it down to like what used to be a miniseries.
Yeah.
8 to 10 episodes.
Right.
So I think you can do it that way,
They wasted one of those episodes.
but you can't do it as like a movie.
It got
Which
real
episode?
shitty.
Which
No,
episode?
I don't remember the number. I don't remember the number. But I will say it was a complete fucking waste of my time. Just one episode.
If
Just
it's-
one.
I don't know. I enjoyed one of the episodes. trying
I'm
to think
sure
which
you
one it was.
did. Did you like the strawberries?
I fucking loved them.
No, I think you're right. Maybe another miniseries or something like a Gears of War. But like, if you had to pick a video game that you would like to see adapted into a movie, but done right,
A movie done right.
A movie?
done right.
You need a story you can tell within an hour and a half.
Or let's
That's-
say up to 2.5. Let's say up to 2.5.
Even at 2.5.
All right, so then, just for the sake of argument, let's give it a trilogy. All
Okay.
right, you got a trilogy, one video game to tell the story and be done with. If done right, like I would say, I'm gonna go with it would be one of the two. It would either be Halo or Gears of War for me. I liked what they did with the Amazon Prime show. I didn't hate it, but if you're gonna tell like the original story, go back, use the original arc. You could play the whole Mandalorian style Halo version, Spartan, and jump in there and do a Halo movie series 3.
I think Gears can be.
I think would be great.
If you're going for a trilogy, I think you can do Gears pretty easily. It's a war movie.
Yeah.
And even the game itself is 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
It's a short but very well done game.
Yeah.
I've just finished playing Horizon. Fantastic game, fantastic story.
Yeah.
I don't know if it could be done in as little as a trilogy.
What about Cyberpunk?
Fuck, Cyberpunk is an even longer game.
Right, but you can't see it being done in a trilogy.
You'd have to leave shit out.
Of course.
You'd lose a lot of shit.
But you could still probably tell a very good story.
I'd want to see The Witcher.
The Witcher, that would be dope.
I'd want to see The Witcher done in like a Lord of the Rings style with like 3-hour movies.
That's pretty fucking sick.
Well, if you're talking big
pretty
movie,
sick. That's a
if you're
good
talking
idea.
big movies like that, then you could probably get Cyberpunk done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And I
something-
think the Witcher lore, Witcher fandom, you could do something like that.
You know,
But one of the
Especially if Henry took the helm.
one of the things
would be fantastic.
that lends itself well to The Witcher for that is the first book is all short stories.
Right.
So you have several short stories already to draw upon
and tell the
that
story.
tell and work within the world versus, like the one big major one.
You know what? I want to change my opinion. I was actually thinking about it. What I would tell is Fable. I think the video game Fable could lend itself into a really good fantasy story, especially the whole aspect of like that arc where if he's going good, he's walking around, he's Halo. You can go either way, like, or he's doing it evil style.
So like a gender fluid gay hero.
Each
um,
movie would be each movie would be a major time jump. That's where you get your time jump, movie to movie.
Yeah, but I think Fable could be told in a really really well done way, and translate well on movies. I like that as an idea. Yeah, and you said Witcher, and you're going with Gayblade.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about big epic movies, you would need to do something like that for Cyberpunk because you're talking about you have to create the entire world to actually live in, much like you did with Lord of the Rings.
What's that show on Netflix that was kind of like a cyberpunk?
It was the one where they had different
Edge Runners?
The different bodies, like they
Yeah.
could switch into body to body.
altered carbon.
Season 1, fucking amazing. Season 2, shit the bed. If you kept it along the same vein of season 1, you could do some. That's probably the closest thing to cyberpunk that I
made me
would
think
say.
of Blade Runner.
Yes.
Made me think of Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's all along the same vein there. The thing is, a lot of the times when you're dealing with cyberpunk and cyberpunk-esque storytelling, it's not happy.
Yeah.
And do you want to go through 9 hours and then you also end with still not happy?
Right.
I mean, I played it. It was an excellent story, but like I had got to the end and I'm like, whoo, I'm kind of happy this is over.
But right. But does everything need to end happy? Does everything
No.
need to end with the hero winning? Like, I'd like to
Some
see
games-
the fucking villain win.
Some games fucking drag, man.
Yeah.
Some games like start good.
Yeah.
And you're having fun, and then oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They're
how I
not
felt
always,
about
It's not always the best.
GTA. I go in there to just run
Yeah.
amok in the city and have some fun, do a little bit of the storyline. But sometimes that game outside of that fun aspect of it can drag.
For me, it was Tales of Arise. It was the new Tales game on the PlayStation 5. It was so good. I was going through it. I was having fun. But when you're like 50 plus hours
You
in,
hit a wall at a certain point.
the end of the story just drug.
Yeah,
And there was
yeah.
just nothing but dialogue, and I didn't give a shit. I didn't fucking care. I found myself skipping conversation. I mean, like, just fucking skipping fast forwarding dialogue. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Just tell me what I gotta fight.
Yeah.
Point me at the big scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the Latin music starts playing and the thing transforms, then I'm fucking
Let's
good to
go.
go.
Yeah,
Right. I'm like, come on, man, what the fuck?
There is something to be said about a game
Love
not
triangle between
overstaying
teenagers.
its
Get outta
welcome.
here.
Yeah.
Keeping to a nice streamlined story, keeping the side missions to be like not just random fetch questions, but like
Interesting.
something that adds to the world, adds to your
Yeah.
character, and is nice and short and keeps it adding to the story and just getting you through and forward
The Witcher was
without
good at that.
dragging you down.
The Witcher was very
Yes,
good.
it
At
was
that.
very good.
So
with
was
that.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was
Yeah.
Skyrim.
No,
Like,
but the Witcher would like give you a quest, and it would give you a really rewarding item, or like
Yeah.
a new attachment for your outfit, something you wanted.
I would
It would-
say
like,
I
yeah.
would say Witcher did better at even its side quests leaning into the main story and world than Skyrim. Skyrim, like, it kept you into the world, but there were some side quests that were way the fuck off the beaten path.
Skyrim, most people don't even believe there's a main story. I mean, you create your character and you just get out there.
you
just
go.
go.
You
And
just
then,
go.
like, you'll find yourself, you're like level fucking 50, one shot and everything, and you're like, oh, that's right, there's a dragon.
It's
I'm
about
supposed
as
to-
it's
Oh,
about
fuck.
as
I
close.
gotta save some villagers.
Meanwhile, I'm
What
the Dark Lord, and I'm the head mage and vampire in the whole kingdom, and I'm like, oh,
Tell
that's
me
right.
that sword that makes you kill people that you've helped.
The ebony blade.
That is so good.
It gets more powerful
So good.
the more friends you kill. But you have to be their friend for you to kill them and get power.
It's essentially
That's what makes it great.
An
It's- yeah.
MMO, but nobody else is there but you. That's really
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big, lonely MMO. That's Skyrim. Essentially, that's Skyrim.
That's the way that it should be. All right, guys, let's hit it, man. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. And you know how to find us. Just tell your friends, tell your family. We need people liking, subscribing, doing all that good shit. You
It's
know what
another
I mean?
year. We're here. We're
Yep.
still here.
That's right.
What, 2 years strong? We're still here.
That's
Yep.
not bad at
Yeah.
all.
I
That's
mean,
not bad
one
at
of
all.
my favorite channels on YouTube I watch. I believe he said it took 452 episodes before it finally popped off.
We got some time. We got some fucking time.
Well, in that case, I quit.
We're only like 340 more to go.
That's right. That's a lot of weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah, 5 years about, 5, 6 years. Sounds good.
This podcast is gonna outlive Val Kilmer.
Actually, you're probably right. You're probably right.